Some losses are silent, but devastating. And few things are more uncomfortable than realizing, too late, that someone you ignored no longer needs you. Their absence becomes a mirror, and the reflection it shows is painful, the lost chance of having someone truly genuine by your side. But why is it that we only value certain presences once they decide to walk away? What triggers the regret in those who once treated us with neglect? The answer lies in posture. Instead of reacting with anger or trying to prove your worth, true transformation begins when you focus inward. When you adopt silent, conscious attitudes inspired by Stoicism, not driven by revenge, but by dignity. And that, paradoxically, is what unsettles those who underestimated you. Below, you'll discover 6 Stoic attitudes that, when practiced, send a clear message. I am enough. And that's when everything changes. Attitude 1. Strategic silence. The absence that speaks louder than 1,000 words. When someone who used to ignore you realizes you simply stopped reacting, something shifts. Silence becomes uncomfortable. But not just any silence, strategic silence. The kind born from the awareness that responding is unnecessary. That justifying yourself would mean lowering your worth. In Stoicism, silence is self-mastery. It's not passivity, it's control. While many expect an outburst, an explanation, or a plea for attention, well-placed silence creates confusion. Absence becomes a deafening noise in the mind of someone who always took you for granted. Did he get tired? Did she find someone better? These questions arise, but by then, it's too late. You're no longer available. And that disarms them. You're not trying to teach a lesson, you simply moved on. The Stoic doesn't shout. They act with presence. And that's why their silence echoes so loudly. If this message is resonating with you, leave a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. That really helps us spread this message to more people who need to hear it. Attitude 2. Live with purpose. The blooming that unsettles them. The worst punishment for someone who didn't value you is watching you thrive. Evolve. Grow in silence. No indirect messages, no drama, no attempts to prove anything. Just living with purpose. It confuses them because it destroys the illusion that your happiness depended on their present or approval. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and Stoic philosopher, said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And when you focus on your goals, invest in your projects, care for your mind and body, you are living that philosophy. Those who once placed you in second place start asking themselves, when did he change? How is she so at peace? Your silent growth wounds the ego of those who once felt superior. What was once disdain now becomes regret. Attitude 3. Set boundaries without guilt. The respect that drives manipulators away. Saying no calmly is one of the clearest forms of self-love. Those who disrespect you will only show up when they need something, expect you to always be available, agreeable, and flexible. But Stoicism teaches us that freedom begins where guilt ends. When you set boundaries without losing your composure, the message is clear: my time is valuable. You don't need to raise your voice or create conflict. Just stop explaining yourself. Stop accepting crumbs. Stop letting guilt steer your decisions. This changes the entire dynamic. Manipulators lose their power. Those who use your kindness as a crutch stumble. Because now, you're no longer bargaining your peace for someone else's emotional convenience. And more than that, your absence needs no explanation. It already says everything. Attitude 4. Move on without warning. The decision that flips the script. Some people only value you after they lose you, but they don't always deserve to know they've lost you. Stoicism teaches us not to carry the burdens of others or offer explanations to those who never truly cared about our side of the story. If the relationship became one-sided, stepping away is natural and often necessary. Moving on without an announcement isn't indifference. It's maturity. You realize it's no longer worth insisting where there's no reciprocity. So you go. No farewell speech. No drama. The impact? Huge. Because someone who always saw you try now sees you gone. That breaks the emotional cycle they used to control you. They expected tears, arguments, persistence. But you left in silence. And that alone redefines the relationship. Attitude 5. Keep your dignity, even in solitude, the quiet greatness that unsettles them. It's easy to act composed when there's an audience. Much harder is remaining dignified when no one's watching. But that's exactly where the Stoic strength lies. Keeping your dignity even when you feel alone, when you're ignored, when there's no reward in sight, that's a sign of deep growth. Seneca said, "What matters is not what happens to you, but how you react to it." When you remain kind, calm, honest, even toward those who never return the favor, you're sending a powerful message. I don't need to become bitter to protect myself. And that creates real discomfort for those who ignored you, because they expected you to break down, lash out, or beg for attention. But you didn't. You kept your nobility. That shows you evolved. And maybe now, it's too late for them to earn your presence again. Attitude 6. Emotional self-sufficiency. The end of dependence that makes them panic. Being emotionally self-sufficient is the ultimate freedom. It doesn't mean isolating yourself or avoiding connections. It means realizing that no connection defines your worth. Those who depend on constant approval, affection, or validation hand over their emotional power to unstable hands. The Stoic knows happiness comes from within. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you stop begging for attention, when your inner world sustains you, something magical happens. You become untouchable. And those who didn't value you feel it. They realize that nothing they say or do affects you anymore. Emotional games no longer work. You don't react, you live. This posture, for someone who once ignored you, is terrifying. Because now, it's not just your presence that's gone. It's the control. If you made it this far, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Every week, there's new content to help you grow stronger with Stoic wisdom and emotional clarity. Conclusion. These Stoic attitudes aren't about revenge. They're conscious choices made by someone who decided to reclaim their worth. Someone who realized that self-respect starts within, and that the best response to neglect is silent evolution. You don't need to scream, justify, or confront. You just need to choose yourself. And when you do, the regret of those who didn't value you becomes inevitable. Because in the end, you weren't what was lost. The real loss was the privilege of having you around.